Welcome to Film Study, an all-American podcast with Lexi. I am excited because episode 18, with International Players, I always have to remember the name, International Players Anthem, I Choose You, sort of in parentheses, review, here we go, with Nicole. Carmen.
Yes.
So I know the viewers, listeners, etc. are thinking like, "Where's Monda?"
Right. Like,
and what happened is we had a little last minute switch, and Monda will still be doing a mini review of the episode. But what happened is
Monda's still crying. She's still crying from last night. She was so happy about Spelivia. So she hasn't recovered yet.
She hasn't recovered, but in actuality,
she's gonna get me.
she is. And so yeah, she's fine, but you will see her sometime after Thursday when we record our bit. But right now, Carmen and I, you have her twin, as she calls her, in her stead, the only one who could do this review in her place. Yes, her twin, in her stead, and we're going to be doing a mini review of the episode together, but Monda and I will be talking about Spencer and Olivia later on. So we're going to touch on Spencer and Olivia's story arc in this episode very briefly, but if you want a more in-depth look at that, listen for the episode later this week. So this will be mostly about the all of the other things in this episode. Spencer and Olivia will take way too long of a time and take up the majority of our time, so we had to make it its own episode.
Give it its own.
Yep, especially because, spoiler alert, they are together now, officially. So Spelivia fans rejoice. Insert yay meme here. But anyway, let's get into it. Right off the bat, we're not even a minute in, Carmen, and Billy is yelling.
It's over football.
Billy is yelling all of the time, and it's just like, why? For what?
And I don't understand because clearly he been getting some, so
oh my god,
why is he so stressed? You know, before it's like, okay, he hasn't been getting them, but like according to Olivia, you've been sneaking in.
I'm dead. Yes, according to Olivia. Billy has been sneaking in the house. We're gonna get to that in a second. But in the beginning of the episode, Billy was yelling, the championships are 2 weeks away, Crenshaw is preparing. Jabari wasn't having none of it. He was tired. He was like, I'm tired of doing these 5 a.m. workouts. I don't want to do one more rep. This is supposed to be fun. Like, we're supposed to be having fun, and we're not having fun. Which is interesting because I was just like, wasn't that Spencer's lesson like 3 episodes ago that he was supposed to be having fun?
Just play the game.
Exactly. And so, I mean,
but it wasn't on Spencer this time. It was Billy that had them doing the extra workouts.
Yeah. No, that's true. And so it was just like the pressure of everything. I didn't say it was on Spencer, by the way. See, you already pre-defended Spencer. I haven't even said anything. You're just like, you were going to say something about Spencer.
You did. You said that. Didn't Spencer learn? And I just needed you to know that it wasn't on Spencer. He didn't have an extra practice. Billy.
By Spencer, I mean, didn't the team by way of Spencer learn that?
Well, the
everything
coach
was
didn't
fun.
learn it. The coach didn't learn it.
Billy didn't learn it.
No.
He did not, because he had these people working out all those hours. But anyway, yeah, Jabari was upset about that, blah, 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 championship. We get into why the team is feeling pressure, and it's sort of back to the reason why Spencer's at Crenshaw in the first place, which is because the school was going to turn into a magnet school, and because Carter put in a proposal, and they're just feeling the effects of that.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. It's definitely a lot of pressure because it's like their senior year and they're supposed to be enjoying it. And it's like if they lose, all fingers point to them. It's like that's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure. It is a lot of pressure. And to make matters worse for Spencer, this is when he finds out about his mom and Carter.
Hmm. We did not appreciate that. Me nor Spencer appreciated
you,
that.
he, you're speaking for you were the Spencer spokesperson?
Yes, yes. He didn't appreciate it. Like
What didn't you appreciate about it?
that she just was having a relationship with this man and then she didn't tell Spencer nothing about it. Like, why wouldn't you tell him? Like, why would you let him find out? But oh, that's right. She thought he was at work. She thought she was hiding something. Mm.
See, now here's let me be a devil's advocate for a second. Because
Mm-hmm.
Dylan knows about Grace and Carter. And so that just points to Spencer's just not home that often because Dylan for sure would have told. Dylan does not care if his mother's like, don't tell Spencer.
But uh, but where was Dylan? Matter of fact, this episode, where was Dylan?
He was not present. He was not present as usual.
So is Spencer not home or is Dylan not home? I'm just
Ooh, okay. I see. I like how you flip that. I
not
like how you
home.
flip that.
Yeah, who's not home?
I like how you flip that. So regardless, Spencer was upset about Carter and Grace. And
Mm-hmm.
and Grace did her thing where she was just like, you're not gonna take that tone of voice in my house.
Yes,
Not in
she
my
did.
house. Got
I
him
talk 1st. Mm-hmm.
got him together real quick. Um yeah, and settled all that. But Spencer just throughout the episode was just like having problems with Carter, very upset about him and his mom. Even to the point where like later on at the wedding party that he got upset at Billy because Billy was just like, this is not the time or the place to be yelling at Carter, and he called him a snake.
Yes, I think it's because the last time he checked, all of them was on the same page when it came to Carter, and then everyone switched, and nobody gave him nobody let him know that he's okay now.
Which is this is maybe another story for another day, but it's also the problem when you treat your kids like they're adults because then like when you go off and do adult things, then the
Mm-hmm.
teenager is like, how come you didn't tell me? And it's like, sir, who are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, what do
yeah,
I need? Like, I'm an adult. You were a
yeah.
teenager. And so
Mm-hmm.
Spencer got put in his little team place right quick
Yes, he
both
did, and he
times.
apologized. He was like, you know what? I don't have a right, to
He
tell you
did.
what.
He did apologize,
Mm-hmm.
and he is back friends with Coop again. So he went to.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, yes, yes, he is.
We'll talk about that in a second. But so he went to sort of Jabari and Coop, and they both gave him insight into how he usually sees the best in people, etc., etc. And he and Carter made amends, and then eventually Carter said that he's going to stay on as principal because he was only the interim. That he had a change of heart, and that he really cares for Grace, obviously, and that it's because of Spencer's tutoring, the raised GPA requirements, and the financial literacy course that the school wasn't going to be changed into a magnet school.
Yes,
So we love that. Like it ended up being very good. That was all resolved.
yes, it was
Let's get
fixed.
to Coop. Let's get to Coop. And
Mm-hmm.
Coop prep your favorite person ever. And Coop preparing to leave on tour for Vegas. So we see that she has finally gotten her GED test scores. Did you
Yeah,
notice that?
that part. Yeah, I noticed it. Yeah, like a couple weeks left for high school, but she just had to take the
A
GED.
couple weeks. They have a whole second semester of high school to go. So she at least let's say she saved herself 6 months.
Okay.
So she saved herself 6 months. She passed the GED, and um, What I said when I saw it is I was just like, it was so weird to see Spencer and Coop together because we haven't seen them in such a long time.
Yeah, we haven't
So
seen, and it was just like nothing really happened. Like, well, yeah, you could tell if something definitely happened that they haven't been around for a while. Because to me, maybe just me, it just ain't feel like a total natural, like the natural Spencer and Coop. But I guess it's gonna take a while for
yeah,
me to feel that.
and I think yeah, no, because I agree because it's not even necessarily that they were interacting differently, but it was just it's really weird. Like we know that they're friends again, but it was just really weird to see them be friends again because again, this thing has been going on since basically the beginning of the season. Um
Yeah. Well, since what, episode 6?
episode 6, but really they were sort of off before then because they weren't really talking over the
Oh
summers
yeah, it
we
was
saw.
before 6. 6 was when they asked when she came to the cabin,
Yeah,
but
when
you're right.
when the friendship ended, but the friendship was like on the rocks.
Yeah, since Spencer told her that he blamed her. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was early. Yeah, you're
And
right.
even before then, because he was avoiding her and she was coming and she was like, "Why are you avoiding me?" It's been a long time.
Yep, you're right.
It's been a long time. And so yeah, it's gonna take a little bit getting used to them being friends again. Maybe season 4 will be like, okay, yeah, Coop and Spencer are back. Um, so that was the whole thing. Obviously, Patience and Coop are apparently Spelivia shippers now.
When did this happen? When did
When did
patient?
that happen? Like, Patience I buy. Patience I buy. But Coop?
Mm-hmm.
Coop?
Layla's best friend? I know.
I
What she's
was
gonna
just
tell her
like,
best friend? They no longer
yeah.
hate Spencer?
And no longer hate Spencer. They're asking about them, so we'll get into this. We'll get deeper into this with Bonda. But yeah, apparently Coop and Patience
Mm-hmm.
are Spilivia's shippers now. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and all Spencer admitted to was that he and Olivia made out, but it did,
Mm-hmm.
but they just got caught up in the moment.
Woo! I'm gonna leave that to
So
my twin. I'm gonna leave that to my twin. I'm gonna leave it to my twin.
I'll leave that to your twin.
Even though I know I'm gonna have to fight you and her, because I know you guys are gonna come for Spencer. But I'll
What?
be ready.
What are
I will
you
be ready in
talking
the comment.
about?
I will
I
be
haven't come
ready
for
in the
Spencer
comment
all
section.
show,
I'm
all
gonna have some.
episode.
I'm gonna have some pre-typed dot comments, so I just paste, copy and paste. Watch. I'm gonna be
Mm,
ready.
I'm waiting for it. So yeah, so that whole thing happened. Meanwhile, Coop is also trying to prep for Vegas. Layla found out that she could go to Vegas because she got her finals pushed up early.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, and why she needed to get her finals pushed up early is because Preach was screening Coop's calls for the first time ever, and because he was trying to hide his little daughter or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't care about Preach's daughter.
Nobody does, and he needs to get a DNA test because it's not his daughter.
Exactly. And
It is not his
Mo
daughter.
still out here plotting for something for Vegas. Got who is it, Andre or something, to go on the tour?
Wait, how did Preach reject who she suggested, and then later said that's who's gonna go with Coop? Like,
Because I guess I don't know. His daughter got him feeling some type of way, and he was just like, "Let me let my guard down some more."
well, he needs to shake that out because he's getting dumber by the episode.
Truly, truly. And so I don't even want to waste more. Not waste. The actors are great, but
Yeah, he's the
I
actor is
have
great, but
I have
he's
no
too
patience
smart.
for this. I have no patience for this storyline.
I want to tell. Remember in season 1 when he was telling Coop the story about, who was it? Somebody
The
they wasn't
Greeks,
smart.
yeah, the Greek. It
Yeah,
was
I want to
like
go tell him. I need you to
Odysseus.
go.
Yeah, I want that preach back. I want that to
Yeah, I
period.
need that one. I need him.
And speaking of someone, excellent transition, by the way. Speaking of someone who needs to watch their back, given that whole Preach season 1 moment, Layla has finally finally notice that something's off with Carrie.
With Cray Cray. Mm-hmm.
With crazy Carrie. We finally got to see Layla producing. Loved that for her.
Yes.
Finally
Yes.
at the studio. And she actually, they gave Greta some good, didn't know what she was talking about. But then she was like, yeah, let's layer and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you better go, okay?
Yes, like go, girl. Yes. Yes, Layla.
I don't know what any of that means, but yes, bring up Patient's voice and let her voice sit on
I'm
it or
about to
whatever
say,
she
but she
said.
sounded like she know what she was talking about, even though we
She
didn't know what
sounded
it
so
means.
like she sounded like she knew everything up in there.
Yes.
And then Carrie came in, being all weird about Layla going to Vegas and talking about how, Layla lets people use her and they don't appreciate her and stuff like that. And Layla was like, girl, what are you talking about?
Right? Like this
This
is
is my
business.
job. This is my
Yeah.
job.
Mm-hmm.
Someone on Twitter said, it's the caucasity of what's her name, Carrie saying that and Layla letting Carrie stay at her house rent free this whole time.
Oh my gosh. I don't just let her stay at her house, period. Like I still don't understand her mindset of just letting Carrie stay with her, but
No,
okay.
I know. And so that whole thing ended. Like, obviously, Layla tried to go to was getting dressed for the wedding, all of that stuff. The
Wait, no,
wedding.
don't forget she's supposed to be going to Vegas now with she said she want to go to Vegas. Yeah, she want to go to Vegas
Oh,
now.
yeah, Carrie wants to go to Vegas. She was just like, I could be
Yes.
a roadie. Oh my gosh. And so we don't know what's gonna happen with that because Carrie Carrie's Layla called Carrie's mom and her
Mm-hmm.
mom was just like she is really messed up basically. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's sick, she needs help, she's not well. And Layla for some reason was just like, okay, well, don't come now because she might try to run. Let me try to convince her to come back home.
I'm trying to understand why she didn't want more information. If someone says
Exactly. She
okay, what
had
do
to
you
have like
mean?
stayed on the phone after that, right? Like I feel like that might come back up, just like how we were very confused as to why Olivia didn't just like text Layla right off the bat, but then Olivia just said like told Layla in person like, well, this weird thing did happen with Carrie.
Yes, she did.
So
But this was after. I mean, then the wedding that happened before she called Carrie mom, right?
no, I know it did happen. So I'm saying like, so
Okay.
maybe we'll find out more information on that call later on. Like it'll come back up at
Hopefully,
some point.
hopefully next
Hopefully, because it
episode.
doesn't make any sense. Like,
Hopefully
really.
next episode, like she's not tied in the closet.
Exactly. I thought Carrie was gonna come through, lock Layla in the studio somehow. Like, I didn't know what was gonna happen.
Yes, and be like, I thought she
Layla,
was
you
my
in danger,
friend.
girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyway, that's how that whole storyline went. So it was the Jabari Crenshaw piece, the Coop Vegas piece, and all of that went with that. Finally, we get to
The
Jordan and
wedding.
Simone and the wedding. Number one, Simone's mom was doing too much. I'm glad for this one thing that Simone's mom pushed them to not have the rehearsal dinner at the hangout because we're tired.
Oh my gosh, of the hangout.
Literally, we're tired of that place. And so, but we're not tired of the Baker household, and they did it up nicely. So good for
Yeah,
them.
yeah, we couldn't get that Spelivia scene at the hangout, so I'm glad for the house too.
Funny, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just like, we finally get to see their living room again. I don't know, like, because we forget, thinking about this show being like based in Beverly Hills and stuff. Besides Layla, we forget like how rich these people are. You know what I mean? Because we haven't gotten the full experience of the Beverly Hills bakers since season one. Do you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we got the living room a couple times this season.
We did, but it wasn't like parties, like there weren't people
Oh yeah,
there.
we
Like
never. Yeah,
season
yeah, we
one,
haven't.
they planned a lot of hangouts, a lot of get-togethers, and so you got, I don't know, you got the sense of again who these characters are, what their background is, what their status is, or whatever.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree. I get what you're saying.
And so it was cool to see that happening in. Yeah, but Simone's mom was freaking out, doing the most.
Always.
And then her daughter, Simone, and Jordan were on the couch planning for the wedding, etc., etc. Simone decides to lay it on him then, a couple of days after they have gotten back from Princeton. I've decided to apply for Princeton, not Stanford.
Yeah. Well, she didn't just come out. He kind of pulled it out of her, like,
That's
something's
true.
wrong. Yeah,
That's
something's
true.
wrong.
And oh yeah, because he said like introspective.
And she was like, that's
The SAT word. I was like, no, why is Jordan saying introspective? Like, what's it gotta be?
He just took SAT yesterday. He
took the SAT yesterday and he was trying to use them big grown up words. He was just like, I'm getting married officially now. I have to start being, lawyerly and stuff. Like, interesting.
Exactly.
What's the biggest word I know of? Okay.
Right? I can just insert this right here. Like,
truly. I will say, sorry, before we get into the whole Princeton thing, it was really cute, like when they were like cuddled up on the couch and he was giving her little kisses and stuff. That was nice.
They be all right. They okay. They okay.
I mean, yes, but also I was just like, for the times that I have to see, Jamone on my screen, I root for them. I do. I don't think it's gonna last, but I root for them nonetheless. Not as much as I root for who I'm about to talk about, but
it's hard to root for them now because it's like we can see the end of them now. So it's like
everybody's just watching the this is such a horrible comparison, but like watching the Titanic get closer and closer to the
they're watching it sink. Like, okay, like the boat is going down, and the boat's going down.
The boat done hit. I guess the iceberg was Damon, so the boat done already hit, and now it's just like that weird in between where it was still on top of the water and they didn't notice anything.
Yeah, and they're playing the music while it's going down. Like,
oh my god,
it's the end.
It's so that being said, Jordan, was trying to be there for her and saying, okay, if you want to go to Princeton, I'll go to Princeton too. I know we had said the West Coast, but I'll join you. And I was just like, this man is lying. He doesn't want to go. And we find that out quickly. He did not want to go. I mean,
because even he did not put up a fight when she brought it up to him later. He did not say no.
That's what I was about to say. So we find out that he and Asher and JJ. I love when they like insert these little kid moments that we knew nothing about. But he, Asher, and JJ. This time I think it fit because why would we need to know this information before now? But yeah. Him, Asher, and JJ were supposed to they made this pact to play Pac-12 football.
Yes, and live in bunk beds, like
live in bunk beds, like rent a house together and
yes.
And be on the beach and everything. And you know who they told that story to? Layla.
She was there
because apparently she was looking for Olivia. They were in her room. Why are people in Olivia's room?
Olivia room? I don't know. Well, we never did see Jordan's room. I don't know if Jordan actually have a room because
I don't know if Jordan has a room either. Apparently Asher went to it, but I don't trust it because I've never seen it. I don't trust it. And also, I am gonna insert this for all of the people that said Layla comes into Olivia's room without knocking, and I was just like, everybody goes into Olivia's room without knocking, and that was proved again today.
Oh, goodness.
Including Spencer.
Do anybody knock at any door?
That's what I'm saying. I don't really think anybody knocks on any door in TV shows. Like, it's very rare unless someone is like there door. Is only the front door, but like in terms of like going into rooms, it's not really a thing in TV where people knock on the doors. For like bedrooms and stuff. Yeah. So that whole thing, Jordan and Layla, Jordala had their little moments.
You can definitely see the build up for it. I won't be surprised by it. It's gonna be weird. I keep telling you, it's gonna be weird because
See, an audience, Carmen knows how much I love this crack ship. The great things about a crack ship is that you can get excited about the little things. Like this was a very small moment. It wasn't really anything in the grand scheme of things, but like it's still just fun to see these two on my screen and be like,
but it's
writers,
gonna
come
be
on.
weird. It's gonna
Writers,
be
come on.
weird.
Do it. Do
It's
it. You know
going
you
to be
want to do it. You know
weird.
you want
It's
to get
gonna
these
be
two people together.
and it's going to be weird to watch her kiss Jordan when she was just like, and I get it. It's not, I get because it's the same thing with Spencer and Olivia. Like, but she has a choice not to be around them. If she start dating Jordan, it's just gonna get weird.
Listen, I totally but part maybe that's part of their appeal for me is that I'm like I want it to be weird. Like
Because you, oh my god, what?
what I'm that did not come out right. What I'm trying to say is it would just bring an interesting dynamic into like it would bring a new dynamic to the group if it
What
happened for sure.
what would it be? Her be able to tell Olivia, "I kiss your man and your brother." Like what?
No, I don't think because I don't think she would like be
No,
on
I
like
know she
that
was.
petty
I
later
know
on.
she wasn't. Yeah, I know she would never say it, but that's just the thoughts that would be like in my head. Like that is weird. But
It
okay, but
is,
they
but
are cute together. They are. They will definitely be a cute couple. It would just take
that's
used to getting to on my
it would
screen.
take some getting used to, definitely, and they
Mm-hmm.
would definitely need to interact more. And I don't know if it's gonna happen for sure, but it's just fun to just be like, if this becomes a thing, I saw it coming.
Yeah. Yep.
um,
Lexi is waiting. She is waiting, guys.
I am waiting. I am waiting for sure. Um, there's like three of us on Twitter out of the thousands of people on Twitter. There's
You
three of
know
us that
what?
are like Jordala, yes.
You know what? You are waiting for Jordan and Layla, just like Spencer was waiting for Liv.
Oh my gosh, we're not even gonna do that.
I had to do it. I had to do it. Go ahead.
I'm gonna let you have that one. I'm
Just
gonna let you have that
listen.
one unfettered.
Listen, just because I know you can't talk about it because you have to save it with Margaret, I just had to put it in there. Go
You
ahead.
had to put it in there. I respect it. I do. I do. And so with that being said, then we get Jordan finding out about his parents because Asher was talking about, "Oh, I'm happy that everybody's in love," which I know this man was not talking about Spencer and Olivia. Sorry. He could not have been because he mentioned the parents, but I'm like, that's a little like you can't just be saying that phrase just for two little couples. Like, and maybe Jordan's okay. Maybe he meant the two couples and Jordan and Simone because I'm just like, I know he's not talking about Spencer and Olivia because
Listen, I love guys. Guys, I love when Lexi go. And she does. She goes. But if you notice in the podcast, you got to hear it a lot. It's like her whole back, but not her whole back. Like
it's my tick. Um, yeah, no. So yeah, Asher, I guess, was trying to be again sort of the mature guy because he also gave that little speech, the best man but not best man speech, where he talked about the brotherhood,
the
brotherhood in
honestly,
quotation marks that they have together.
honestly,
Which
like
I guess they do because they were shaking hands in episode 10.
listen, but
Or
it's
playing a game or
weird.
whatever at homecoming, and we were just like, does Asher not know?
I'm just going to accept that there's no way he knows everything because there's
There's
no way
no
he
way.
knows Spencer was tugging your girl down in Vegas. Like, there's
That part.
no way he knows that and he has no reaction to it. He got to only know that they like each other. Like,
Truly.
that's all.
Truly.
Like,
Truly. It has to
because
be because
otherwise
it
it don't
just
make sense.
doesn't make sense. And the way that he said it so
Mhm.
casually, like, and girls don't get to like girls
And
don't get
girl,
between us or whatever. And I'm like, number one, Olivia is a woman and she's the best woman on the show. Okay.
Oh gosh.
So don't be saying girls like she just this little
But no, the thing is you can't miss the S that he put on girls. Like
No, I
it was a
know.
reason.
And Layla too. Layla's not, you know.
But I'm saying Spencer have took his girls. So
He did. He did. And honestly, that's the only girls that they could have been possibly talking about because
them the
so I
only two
guess
girls
that
that
was
had
his
to be there.
reaction was saying like, I'm not gonna let girls get between me and you, Spencer, because everybody loves Spencer on the show. Period. Even if he took your girlfriends.
But I mean, really, is their relationship so deep where they should not let girls get between? It's not
Apparently
that
so,
deep.
because Spencer
It's
was
not
just
that
like, "Oh, I
deep.
loved your speech." Oh, whatever.
It's not that deep. We barely ever see Asher and Spencer together without Jordan or JJ. Like, so it's just. But that's why he say Jordan was the glue because you never get a scene other than season 1 when the car crashed. We never get a scene with just Asher and Spencer like that.
Yeah. And it's funny that he said we're not letting girls get between us because don't hate on me. I'm just pointing out the obvious. It's also because the only reason why Jordan and Spencer and Asher hung out is because Olivia was there too. Like Olivia was their connection as well. So it was the Baker twins. Hmm?
I guess if you say
Because
so.
think about it, even when Asher came to help them in Crenshaw when they were trying to do what were they doing in Crenshaw? I don't know. Whatever the
Selling the
dating
tickets
episode
for
was.
Coop. The Coop selling the
Yeah,
tickets.
yeah, for Coop. It was
Mm-hmm.
literally because he was dating Olivia. Like that's the only reason.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
And so
Yeah,
yeah.
the Bakers.
So anyway, that was just really funny. Anyway, as we know, Simone got nervous and she had been thinking about Jordan and thinking about Jordan's dreams and yeah, we talk about dreams a lot on this show. She was just like, this isn't Jordan's dream to go to Princeton and let me decide that like right as we're supposed to be going down the aisle in 10 minutes.
Exactly. I'm so glad Liv said everything that she said. I don't care who said she shouldn't said it. She should have
We
said
love
it.
when Olivia gets her little savage moments and she was just like, oh,
Yeah.
you didn't think of that when I told you in Vegas. I told
Or
you in
when her
Vegas.
mom
Or when my
tried to
mom
call
tried to get your
her.
marriage annulled. Oh
But no,
my
you want to
god.
wait so everybody's on the same page.
And Layla was just like, not helping, not helping.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't meant to help.
It wasn't
It was,
meant to help.
it was a shaking. Like, are you crazy?
See, look, yeah. Layla was trying to be like, please don't think these thoughts. Can we just do this so I can get back to the studio, please? They were both trying to make it happen in two different ways.
Oh
But
my
just like
gosh.
Simone, please don't do this. This is too much that you're doing right now. I will say this. I wish we had gotten those three on our screen together more. We didn't even get a moment with all three of them when they went on that triple, quadruple date or whatever.
No, we didn't. The last time we got a moment was at the cabin.
At the cabin,
And it
and
was
that's the
long.
first and only moment with all three of them we've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just I hope that we somehow like in the next season come for me if you want, but I hope that we somehow in the next season get more scenes with the three of them together. Just because it's nice.
Just
Um,
be clear, Lexi's the one hoping that. I don't hope it
I
because in
said
order
it.
for that to
I
happen,
admitted it. I'd come for me in the comments if you want to. Y'all, if you listen to this podcast, you already know my thoughts.
yes, that's why I said. Just remember, Lexi said it because I still don't want Liv and Layla friends. So
That's fine.
mm-hmm.
So anyway, yes, the wedding got called off, even though Jordan still calls Simone sweetheart. They were just like, let's go back to being boyfriend and girlfriend. Screw this
Mm-hmm.
$12,000 wedding or however. And those flowers, gorgeous. The dresses,
Yes,
gorgeous. The makeup done. The hair done. The tux, come on. Like, everybody was on point. So that wedding cost money.
yes, that's why they got Simone out of there before her mom found out because she was gonna kill Simone.
I also feel like her mom, like that wedding was probably like a drop in the bucket for her mom. Like I don't know what her mom does, but I know it wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like we're thinking about the money, but Simone's mom is thinking about the reputation.
Yeah, the image, her image, definitely, because they have money, so to them it's nothing but the image. Because remember, she didn't want her to be a divorcee. That's what she
Right,
said.
right, exactly. Um, and so then, yeah, so Jordan, Spencer, Olivia, and Asher were sitting together. Jordan was explaining just that he and Simone had to make the right decision for them, even if it wasn't like, even if it didn't make sense to other people. And
If it
Spencer and
wasn't a
Olivia,
popular, it wasn't a popular.
I didn't want to say that because I was just like, let's not do Liv's confession. And so yeah, so that's basically what he said. Spencer and Olivia gave each other a look. Um,
Mhm. Right in front of us.
and earlier in the day, and again, we're gonna get into this in depth later on, but obviously Spencer and Olivia had a little moment where they talked about what happened at Bringston and um that they got caught up in the moment or whatever. Olivia said that she
Mhm.
wasn't avoiding him, uh, and that I have so many thoughts and I am holding them for when
You
we
have
talk about
to. You have to, because if not, Manda is going to kill
it. She is.
us.
She
She
is.
is going to kill us.
So, I have thoughts on that scene, but right now I'll just say they talked about what happened at Bringston, and he helped her put on the necklace, rubbed her shoulder
Yes.
a little bit, caressed her shoulder,
Oh, he
and then
slid. He was
he
fine
is
with
very very slick,
it.
And
He just
and
wanted to touch her. That's
he
all he wanted to do,
did.
was
He
touch
like
her.
snuck up to the anyway.
Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
he snuck up to her room to do all this, and then Olivia was just like, "Let's get back to the party before our moms, my mom and Simone's mom, kill each other."
Kill each other.
And so,
Mhm.
anyway, so that had happened earlier. So they gave each other a little look. Flash forward, Billy and Laura been pretty solid parents this episode, honestly. Laura was supporting Jordan, Billy was supporting Jordan, etc. And they had been like co-hosting the whole thing together, the rehearsal dinner and stuff. And so Billy re-proposed to Laura, and we were just like, it's about time.
Time.
It's
Exactly.
about time because who
Yeah, it's clear that they wasn't moving on. It's clear they wasn't dating. So it's like, just put them back together. They want
it
to be back
only took
together.
them 2 seasons.
It's been 2 seasons. It
It's been 2
has.
seasons because
It
they found
has.
out at the
Yeah.
end of season 1. At the end of season 1, probably around episode 13 or something, right? Or it's 15 or 16, whatever. Whenever
Yeah.
Corey came.
Yeah.
Um, and we're at 18 now, so definitely 2 seasons because they didn't have these many episodes. Um, and so yeah, so that they have a really gorgeous little ceremony, and it's just you know, the twins are their maid of honor and their best man. Spencer's in the audience, and for some reason, Asher's in the audience.
The
It's
I
because
was
he
gonna
was there. He
say
didn't have
why.
anywhere else to go. He's like, I was planning on being at this wedding all day.
Yeah.
I
Nobody's
done ate
taking
the
it over
cake. I
there.
guess I'll stay for the watching the bakers get married. And we also like, even though this man has had plenty of chances, and I guess he's redeemed now and all that, whatever. Not in the eyes of the audience, but in the eyes of the show, Asher is
Uh
redeemed.
huh.
Uh,
Hmm.
and so I guess it did make sense coming from the eyes of the show in which, he's known these people for like most of his life or whatever. So seeing them get
Hmm.
remarried is nice for him, like the adults that he grew up with or whatever.
Like, I really hate we didn't get JJ. I really hate that JJ wasn't
I
there.
was very surprised because like he's been in random episodes that I felt like maybe why is he here? But now I like
Mhm.
actually felt like if there was any episode for him to be in, it would be
It
this
was
one.
this one.
So yeah, I was missing JJ too. And they explained that we forgot about this. They explained the Vegas uh
The
billboard
poster.
thing
Hmm.
poster that he was a dancer, which I'm like, is JJ
Yes.
18?
It's
Because if
no,
he
and
was a
he's not.
17-year-old dancing, so
Yes.
so that
Yes.
was That was something, yes. And as we know, at the end, it was literally so within those last 10 minutes, and I knew we were still getting something. Everybody was freaking out because it was like, we only have 10 minutes left and we don't, we're Spencer and Olivia, etc. And I was just like, just wait, y'all, just wait. It took
Listen,
us like we got Billy and we got Billy and Laura, Billy proposing to Laura, Billy and Laura's wedding, um, the whole thing with Carter telling
and
about the
Spencer.
magnet school,
Mm-hmm.
then
Uh-huh.
Preach and
Yep.
Coop, then Jordan and Olivia, and then
Uh-huh.
Spencer and Olivia.
Spencer, all of this in 5 minutes. Yes.
It was
Yes.
literally like 7 scenes in that little 6-minute time
Mm.
frame.
I say 5, but you say 6.
Yeah, I think it was like a minute a scene. Like
Listen.
each of those last scenes took a minute each. Um, but yes, as we know, as we said at the top of the show, Olivia, with some help from Jordan, figured out that she can, balance her recovery, um,
Mm-hmm.
and be with someone that she loves, and they don't have to be mutually exclusive. And Spencer and Olivia made it official after she asked him some questions about sort of why did
Mm-hmm.
they say, we just got caught up in the moment. So they had a mini conversation. They had two
Yeah.
it's not the conversation that I think we all wanted after
Of
post
course
7,
not.
but they had two mini conversations about where they were at. Um, yeah, and so they are officially official now. And that was the
Officially.
episode.
Oh,
What did
I know next episode they're not coming into my with friends. I'm gonna I don't want to hear.
Could you
I don't want to
imagine
hear
like they're
just
trying to hide it
friends
from
no
everybody?
more.
Oh my god.
Listen, I don't want to hear just friends no more from them.
Well,
Just
apparently everybody is like instantly a Spelivia fan in their orbit now. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if next week we see Asher and he's just like, "Oh, it's about time you two got together." Like, what?
listen, I'm
At
turning the
this
TV
point,
off. I'm turning the TV off. If it happens, I'm turning it off. I'm turning the TV
it's
off.
not going to. But
It
honestly,
better not. It
I
better not.
would not be shocked.
It better not. It better not happen because it
So
would be
that was
like
the episode.
it's pushing it too far. It will push
I
it.
I give the overall episode like a good. I give it an 8. I give it an 8.
Mm. Um, it's between a 6 and a 7 for me. Like the whole
Really?
overall, yeah, the overall episode. It just feels so rushed. It felt like
It felt rushed. I think I'm
yeah.
I'm positively skewing it because ooh, that little statistics nerd in me just jumped out. I'm rating it more highly because
You know
it
your
wrapped
Jordans,
up.
the SAT words.
Jordan, Layla, did you say Layla and Jordan?
No, I say you're on your Jordan with your SAT words.
Oh, funny. Yeah, yeah. See, it me just basically I rated it an 8 because of Layla and Jordan, obviously. I just keep coming back to those two.
Yes, you are dying for them.
I'm dying for them.
Mhm.
No, but I rated an 8 because it pushed. My thing is like if it pushes the storyline forward, um, I'm all for it. And like just wrapping up things that need to be wrapped up. So like Billy and Laura, uh, Simone like going to Bringston, Jordan and Simone not being married anymore, etc., etc. Layla finally figuring out Carrie's crazy, etc.,
Mhm.
etc. And then you know obviously this happened a couple episodes ago, but Spencer and Coop being friends again and them sort of falling back into a routine. And the big one, the one that we've been waiting 3 seasons for, which is Spencer and Olivia.
Yeah, we definitely got them. We just ain't get the conversation that we
We thought we would get. Which
yeah.
we will again tune in later this week. I have a lot to say. I've been holding back.
I am
So let's
scared.
stop this episode before I say something and Monda comes for me.
Listen, we are going to have our forks ready for you and Monday because I know y'all are gonna bring it to Spencer. I know.
I love Spencer though.
I
love
know.
both of them.
I know. But you're gonna cut him. I know.
I will not cut him. It's gonna be very respectful. It's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a little look. We're all happy in Spelivia Nation.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Ah,
We will see. Remember,
Thanks
guys,
for-
y'all my witness. She said she's not going to cut, so we're gonna see.
We will. Thank you for joining, and thanks for joining last minute and hopping in place of your twin to review episode 18.
No problem.
Thanks for listening to Film Study, an All-American podcast. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and again, stay tuned for later this week when we talk about Spencer and Olivia. Take care.